Hello everybody and welcome to this interesting and special episode of Survivor Oz, which in some ways is an episode via audio as well as a video that you may or may not be watching on our Facebook page or on YouTube as well. But it's, I guess, long overdue in terms of an episode from myself, updating people on the current situation of the show and what's been happening and why things, I guess, have changed to the extent that they have changed in 2016. Obviously, a lot has been different this year, and a lot of people have been asking questions about why certain things haven't been happening, why so many things have been changing, am I on Survivor, all these little things and everything along those lines. So I guess it's just a time right now to be able to finally be an overdue update on all of these things and everything else in between. Firstly, can I just point out, perhaps to the disappointment of some, I'm not too sure, no, I am not on Australian Survivor. I would have loved to have been on Australian Survivor. I did apply to be on Australian Survivor. Sadly, I am not currently out there filming Australian Survivor. So, to end those rumours, not on Australian Survivor. A lot has changed, I guess, in 2016 for myself, personally. It hasn't been the easiest of years in many aspects, and that has prevented me personally from being able to fully commit to Survivor Oz. So, from that standpoint, a lot of people have been asking, you know, why I haven't been as involved, why I've stepped back. Lots of things in relation to that, and I guess from my perspective, that is why. A lot of personal reasons this year have prevented me from being able to commit. So that, I guess, is the best explanation that I can possibly give without going into too much detail in regards to what has personally been happening to me. But I will say that in regards to me being involved in the show, I've tried to as best as I can, even though I've pretty much stepped aside for the time being, and had just some amazing help from everybody involved in the show, from all of our Ozlets, who have just worked tirelessly behind the scenes while I'm not involved. And from the bottom of my heart, obviously, I need to thank all of them for being involved, and you know, I can thank them personally, individually, in terms of naming them, but you know, they all know exactly what they've done to help contribute to keep the show alive. You know, the show obviously hasn't, I guess, been the same in terms of the regular content and things like that we've been able to put out, in terms of how we're being able to do it, which you know, is obviously not ideal in terms of what type of product we're wanting to put out there for you guys to enjoy. But I think in regards to how we've been able to do it to the best of our abilities, I think we've definitely really done a really stellar and fantastic job. And in terms of the Ozlets, you know, I have nothing but praise and thanks for all of them for what they have done over the last few months. Looking ahead, obviously, we're about to head into another season of Survivor in the coming months, which brings about new challenges. Personally, I will still not be as involved as previously, which will obviously continue the show on in varying forms, and at the current time we are looking at various options as to how to continue forward. We still want to be able to bring you a product that you enjoy as Survivor fans, whether you're a key huge giant fan who listens to us religiously, to both of you for that, thank you, or you know, if you're just sort of more of a regular listener who, you know, maybe just views our content online and doesn't necessarily listen to episodes or anything along those lines. You know, we want to be able to give you a product that continues on the Survivor Oz brand enough to keep you coming back. Now, obviously, when we were created back in 2011, you know, our key goal was interviews with contestants. Our goal was to interview all of the contestants in the history of Survivor, a goal which I personally still stand by, and I'm not going anywhere, hopefully, soon. So that's something that we can still strive towards. We realize we haven't brought interviews in a very long time. We realize that obviously during Korong we struggled to have a regular weekly recap with Survivor contestants. And, again, that comes down to a lot of different reasons in terms of less commitment from myself, as well as obviously what Auslets who work for the show are capable of. So this is still something that we strive to achieve. Whether or not that will happen in the not too distant future, we possibly can't say. We will continue our best when it comes to that, but it may be something that, again, as it has been for quite some time, have been put on the back burner a little bit. And again, it's not just down to commitment for myself. There are other varying reasons as well that we simply can't just pull an interview out of our butts, thin air, because, there are varying reasons when it comes to that, of course. Obviously, a big thing for us as well this year, coming very, very soon, is Australian Survivor. Something that, personally, I would like to take the lead from everyone online, basically. We are Australia's only Survivor podcast / radio show / website, so therefore we should be the forefront of coverage for that. However, having said that, we will strive our very best to do that from the abilities that we can. I, again, will continue to be sort of more of a behind the scenes and sort of not involved in the show for, I guess, an indefinite period of time while I deal with some issues personally, which, again, will sort of move the show on to being taken the lead with our Auslets and things like that as we move forward. Again, it pains me to be able to do this and to say this because, from a perspective of mine, again, want to be the forefront of coverage for Australian Survivor. I want to be able to be the lead of that. I want to be able to take control of that. But from a personal standpoint, right now, myself, I can't commit to that. Which, again, it pains me to be able to say that, not just necessarily for myself and being selfish, but of course, obviously for you, the listeners, to be able to not have that content out there. Again, having said that, our Auslets will do the best that they possibly can to their ability that they can. For Australian Survivor and obviously for the next US version of the show for season 33. So we will see how that obviously plays out. We will continue to be putting out, episodes when we can. We'll continue to put out articles when we can and everything else in between. I know a lot of people have asked about the Oscars, given that they were due a week ago, and there's been sort of no real news in regards to that. We did post a post in regards to that saying that they have been put aside indefinitely. We do hope to potentially bring them back at the end of this year. Again, can't 100% guarantee that will be the case. They're not cancelled completely, but we do hope that they will be revived at some point in the future. So obviously stay tuned for that, because when we eventually do bring them back, there'll obviously be a lot of catching up to do with a few different seasons in regards to that. Other things, of course, online in regards to our 6 monthly chart. Obviously, it didn't happen. Again, just little things like that that may be noticed differently and everything along those lines. But again, we're striving, we're plugging forward as best as we can. If people listen to our episodes on YouTube, they obviously haven't been updated as regularly as they were. We're still getting the episodes out there on iTunes and via other podcasting services. That will, hopefully remain the same as well. And again, we will continue to strive for the best of normality as we can throughout this period. So, obviously, I can apologise because, it really does pain me to be able to have to continue to take a side step away from this. This was obviously a project that I stumbled upon by accident, 5 years ago now. And it turned quite quickly from an accident to a passion and something that I very much have been addicted to for all this time. And I know that from myself that I want nothing more to be able to have that addiction and passion back for this show that I had throughout that time. But again, from a personal standpoint, there's too much going on with myself that I right now cannot bring that passion and addiction to this show, which produces a lackluster product, which I don't want to be able to put out there. So I personally need to continue to step aside from the show while I sort stuff out in my own life, and that will lead me to come back to the show hopefully in the not too distant future. I can't give a time frame, sadly, but know that it will be something that I will be definitely pushing towards, because, you know, again, an addiction, an obsession, you know, it's my baby. You know, I've had an absolute blast bringing this show to you all, and something that I am so proud that the product that we've reached after 5 years, and the fact that we are in a position that I am able to step aside for a little bit, and we have people involved in the show for nothing more than their love of Survivor, are able to still help produce content for you, the listener out there. So I'm extremely proud of everybody who works on this show, who has committed their time, be it for 5 minutes or 5 hours, you know, a week, you know, or it's more than 5 hours a week. I know there's definitely times when, you know, certain Ozlets have committed a whole bunch more time than that, and it makes me incredibly proud that they are able to do that, and grateful. So I hope that, having put this message out there to some people, that it definitely enables people to kind of know where we're at right now. We for sure have no plans of going anywhere. There may be periods of time where, you know, it's not as frequent in terms of our content that it once was. And again, there are varying issues when it comes to that. But we will strive to continue to put out as best as we can throughout this period. Now, myself personally, you know, again, having said that I'm still continuing to sort of take a step aside, you know, there may be periods throughout this time where I will make an appearance or two, or provide some sort of content. Again, you know, it all depends on it. Obviously, recently I was over in the US for Reality Rally, so therefore I was still producing it. I'm still wearing Survivor's t-shirt for those watching this video. And look, you know, there may be potential further content coming soon from other events, possibly on the horizon. So we just have to keep watch. Well, you have to keep watch, I guess. I mean, I will be there, I guess. But we'll see how that all plays out. But it's really, I guess, humbling, I should say, really, as well, from my perspective, again, having built this product to what it is today, that we have listeners or readers or people who are concerned enough to tweet us or Facebook message us or email us asking what's going on. You know, I mean, I jokingly say that we have, you know, 2 listeners or things like that, when realistically, when we get the amount of support that we have, I guess, throughout this period asking about what's going on, it shows me that, you know, while we're not, you know, aren't the biggest Survivor podcast on the internet, you know, we definitely have enough people out there concerned and caring about us, that, again, humbling from my behalf, that this product reaches so far and wide. And it's something that I've always been forever grateful and thankful for. And again, such a hard reason for me to be able to just have to continue to step aside for the reasons that I am. So I guess this has turned into a bit of a rambling episode. You know, again, whether you're listening to this as an episode, as a podcast, or for some reason you're staring at my face for well, good 13 minutes now, I hope it's explained a bit. As always, please feel free to connect with us via social media in terms of questions or anything along those lines. I understand that there have been questions and messages that have been left unanswered in the last few months. Again, really, from my perspective, that's my bad. I apologize. I'm generally the one who is sort of the lead when it comes to social media and responding and that sort of thing. So again, from my perspective, I apologize. But look, we will strive to you know, answer as much as we can, and I hope that this is explained enough. Sadly, again, to squash all those rumours aside that I'm not out there filming Australian Survivor, I would have loved nothing more to have been out there right now, even if I was first boot, because no doubt that's what would happen, and then I would have been a laughing stock for forever and a day. And before anybody contacts or comments on this video, no, I don't know who is out there. I don't know any more details than any of you out there know about Australian Survivor. Sadly, you know, not privy to those details. Yes, no, I don't know if anybody from Survivor Oz or anybody else out there is out there currently filming. So just quickly clearing that up as well. But again, thank you so much for the messages and kind words of support. Appreciate that. Hope this has updated you enough on where things are at currently at the moment and what things will be like looking forward into the future. Please still do stay tuned to us. SurvivorOz.com, of course, is our website, and iTunes subscribe or via your other podcast services if you don't use Apple. And like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter again to stay up to date with things the best we can. Again, we don't necessarily post as much as on there as we do, but we do when we can. So thank you very much again from the bottom of my heart for all the support, and please stick with us throughout these times as we continue to bring you the greatest darn Survivor podcast/website that Australia can produce. So until then, Tribe has spoken. My name's been Ben, and we'll speak to you next time on Survivor Oz on the trains.